Welcome to 131XR, and today we're going to be talking about the best mech games in VR. Sometimes there's nothing better than strapping into a giant robot suit and stomping around cityscapes and smashing your opponents to smithereens. And that's what these games are all about. We're going to kick off with one of the most popular mech games in VR, Vox Machina. Now, this is a game that launched back in 2022, but it actually has a much longer history than that. It was in early access for quite some time before the final release version arrived. And despite the fact that it is now 3 years old, it's still a super popular game. It has both a single player and multiplayer modes, and the multiplayer, you can still easily find games in here despite the game's age. In the game, you control mechs that are known as grinders, and you can control them either by using the analog sticks as normal, or by interacting with levers inside the virtual environment. The campaign is designed to take you across various different locales on a variety of different planets. It's a very futuristic themed experience. And the multiplayer mode boasts up to 16 players online, with a variety of different customizable grinders at your disposal.
Oh, here we go.
The security team has been attacked at every Horizon base in the Ceres system from these GUOs.
But who could it be besides pro extractors?
I don't know. Aliens?
What aliens? Do you mean some worms and amoebas?
We have a chance at stopping them once and for all.
Next up, we're going with another oldie but goodie. This one is Ultimax, and it was a game from Resolution Games, who are now very famous with the likes of Demio and Bait, and actually is one of their earlier games. And it's free. Now, this is actually a game that's much less about blasting other mechs to smithereens and more like a team-based sports game, almost like a Rocket League kind of experience. You'll pick your mech and enter an arena, and then use your rocket-powered fists, called gaunt jets, to try and control a ball and score a goal. Of course, there's always the option to use those gaunt jets, your big fists, to smash the opponent instead, if that gives you a tactical advantage. As you would expect, the gameplay is fast and furious, and there's loads of customization options for your mech. And once again, this game is free, so why not go check it out? Next up is Iron Rebellion. Now, this is another game that was in early access for quite some time, but it actually got its full release just last year. Developed by Black Beach Studio, the game has seen numerous updates during the course of its development and eventual launch, and the developers haven't stopped there. There's more coming down the line. The game is available on Quest headsets and is a popular multiplayer experience. There's sadly no single player element here. The game is all about stomping your giant mechs across battlefield and smashing other players' mechs. But it does have some interesting mechanics, such as being able to heal your mech, but in order to do so you have to take your hands off the movement and shooting controls. So there's a big risk-reward system. Do you simply just dive on and go for the kill and hope you survive, or do you try and take a breather, get away from the enemy's line of sight, and heal your mech? As I say, Iron Rebellion is available now. It's on Steam VR and on Meta Quest. If you're looking for some multiplayer mech fun, this is a good one to pick. Next up, we have Mecca Force. Now, this is quite a recent release, coming from My Dearest, and it's a bit different to most of the games in this video, in that it's very stylized. It has an anime aesthetic to it, which is very different to a lot of the other games that we've seen. This game is about fast-paced combat while in a mech suit. You have a range of abilities that not only help you engage in combat, but also help the maneuverability of your mechs. While you're still a giant hulking thing of metal, you have things like grappling hooks that can quickly gain ground against your enemies. The idea of this game is to use your navigation abilities and the speed to your advantage. You can take different weapon types and combine them for combos that create explosive effects on the screen. Mecca Force is actually the most recent title that we've got in this video. It launched very recently on Quest headsets, and it's only £4.99 or your local currency equivalent, so why not go check this one out? got Underdogs. Now this is another very stylized game, but it's much better than Mecca Force. Again, it's also a relatively new game. It launched on Meta Quest last year and has proven quite popular. It's more expensive than Mecca Force by a long shot, but there is a free trial available, so you can go download it, give it a go, see what you think. Now the idea of this game is it's a bit more wacky. It's a physics-based mecha game where the idea basically is to cause as much damage and violence, pretty extreme violence in some cases, against other mechs and players and robots and other creatures in the world. It's more like a fighting game really than a mech game, but it still has that same visual appeal and the environmental appeal of being strapped into this giant robot and taken to the streets or underground layers or wherever you may be in that huge bulking suit of armor. Next we're going with an oldie but a goodie, Zone of the Enders Second Runner. Now this is a game that was originally released for the PlayStation 2. It's designed by Hideo Kojima, who you may know from Metal Gear Solid or Death Stranding, and it's a game in which you are in a giant mech flying through space. You do come and do some land-based combat, but you never actually land on the land. You're always flying through the sky, and that makes it quite different from any of the other games on this list because it is kind of halfway between a mech game and a flight simulator. The VR edition of Zone of the Enders, the Second Runner, was released back in 2018, which is quite old in terms of VR, but it still stands up as a really enjoyable VR mech/flight simulator experience. The controls can be a bit awkward and the game is showing its age compared to some more recent titles in this video, but it's still worth your time to check out. We're going to round out now with World of Mechs. Now this is another multiplayer focused mech experience. It's available now for Quest headsets and it's a game which features the traditional online gameplay modes that you might be expecting from first person shooters, team deathmatch and so on. There's up to 32 mechs to unlock in this game with 8 different class types, each of which bring in a different kind of variety to the weaponry and abilities that you have on your team in a game. For example, you can get like radar jammers that prevent the enemy team from identifying where you and your teammates are, or stealth cloaking so you can sneak. Can you sneak in a mech? So that you can sneak up on your enemy. The game originally launched for Quest 2, so the visuals aren't quite up to what you'd expect from today's games designed for Quest 3, but it's still a ton of fun when you're playing online with friends. So World of Mechs, once again, it's definitely worth your time to check out. So those were our top picks for the best mech games available in VR right now. Did we choose your favourite? Let us know if we missed any in the comments below.